All right, what's up, guys? So if you are tuning in right now, all right, if you're tuning in right now, this is what I talked about earlier on stream. I feel like this is the best way for us to get in Underdog Shrieks plays together. So if you're brand new here, Underdog Shrieks is essentially like a game that Underdog Fantasy has, where you have a 2-pick play where you can put $10 on it, and then you get 11 picks right in a row, and you can turn $10 into 10,000. So that's what we are going to be doing together. Currently, we have 2 streaks that are live, and on this live stream right now is when I plan on having a 3rd pick added to those. All right, and yes, we can run up to 3 different Underdog Streaks. So with that said, what I'm going to do is hopefully have, since we have 2 already in action, we're going to add a 3rd pick to those 2, and then start a brand new streak as well. So let me go ahead and get this on so that way it'll auto refresh every, let's say, 5 seconds. Okay, auto refresh every 5 seconds. And if you guys can see right here, we're using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. So if you're not familiar with how I do things around here, okay, everything is rooted in math. I'm not going to sit here on stream and try and, figure out certain, who's doing what tonight, look at their last 5 games or whatever. Everything's going to be based off of math. So in order for us to be profitable long-term on Underdog Streaks, we need to be hitting an individual prop hit rate at 53.3%. That is the break-even amount. So you guys can see this green column right here with all of these percentages. And honestly, a lot of these are pretty good props to start for streaks. And I'm just going to keep refreshing this as it's going to bring in new data here. This top prop is honestly a pretty good one to go ahead and add. Because it's at 58.78%. That's a pretty good margin from the 53.3 that we need. That's for Donovan Clingan, under 23.5 PRA. What I'm going to do, though, is wait until we have 2 props that are over that 57%, because I think that that's going to give us a really good chance long term if we can get props within that range. And the reason why I'm setting that is because we want to get the highest probability for a prop to hit when we're doing streaks, especially because we have to hit 11 in a row. So we're going to try to put ourselves in the best position to be successful at this, and not take, a year for us to hit this. So the way that I'm thinking that we're going to do this is I've got my streaks up right now. I have the 2 streaks here, as you guys can see over on, let's see, TikTok. You got my 2 streaks there. And you guys can see, let's see. Not trying to freaking flashbang y'all with the light. I don't know why it's not. There it is. I got my 2 streaks here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this refreshing. If we have 2 different props, all right, on 2 different teams that pull up, that are over 57% that you'll see here, and under 60%, so between 57 and 60%, I'm going to put those 2 in our streak starter for the 3rd round, okay? The 3rd streak starter. However, if there is a prop that pulls up that is over 60% chance to hit, 60% probability, I'm going to add that as one of our third props to the streak. Okay. Is that cool? I think that's probably the best way to approach this. Like I said, all of these props that are on the board right now in front of you guys are definitely playable and profitable props. But again, I'm trying to go above and beyond the minimum threshold in order for us to be profitable. Okay. All right, let's see. After streaks, could you craft a new PrizePicks Flex Friday slip? We'll see if there's value. There should be. This will be the main priority for right now, though. All right, so like I said, we need 2 different individual props for us to add to these streaks. And then we'll try and get a third streak starter as well. Let me go ahead and just get a draft written up for the tweet, so that way people know what we are going to be taking. Let's see, underdog streaks, day 2, prop 3. Okay. So I felt like this was probably the best time to go live because, yes, there is a game that's pretty much starting right now. However, we have, I think, 2 or 3 games that are going to start in about 20 minutes. Just kidding. We have 4 games that are starting in 30 minutes. So we should have a lot of value pull up in this next, 15-minute window. Let's see. Whenever I click add to my streak, nothing is coming up. Let me check. It works fine for me. I would restart your app. Maybe delete it and re-download it possibly. And guys, if you're brand new to the stream, I would appreciate if you guys drop a follow. I go live every single day crafting some slips for y'all. That's a really good prop that just pulled up. Malik Monk under 3.5 assists. That's a great prop. If we can get one more above 57%, I would love to throw those 2 together. Malik Monk under 3.5 assists is minus 178 on FanDuel. I love that. Okay, these are great data points here. Minus 155 on DraftKings, minus 170 on Caesars. PrizePicks is down again. No way. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to pretty much just sit here on the new streaks page. I'm going to go ahead and add Malik Monk to my slip, wherever he's at. Probably already took him down. All right, Malik Monk, Sacramento Kings, assists. Okay, yeah, they changed it to 0.78x. That's fine. We're not going to take that, obviously. You guys know what I'm saying. Like being here, being on the live is a little bit easier. Did someone hit for a milli? Where? I'm not sure. And also, I like to have this little full screen up for you guys so you can see that, we can see all of our data points here. Especially because we kind of want to have several data points to back us up here on the streaks. Oh, you're asking because PrizePicks is down. It did the same thing to me last night. I didn't pay attention and played $1 and it hit. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, and the thing is with streaks, you kind of have to manage your bankroll, obviously. So if $10 is already like a half unit for you, then I would be cautious because we could end up firing, so many slips on streaks before we actually turn $10 into 10,000, or I guess $5 into 5,000 if you're playing with $5. So just try and be cautious about it, but obviously the approach that we are taking is certainly going to be profitable long term. You just would hate to not be able to manage your bankroll properly and have it go down significantly because, streaks might take a while. But this is for Underdog. If you guys are not on Underdog, you can get on with code Trident. Okay. So we're just sitting here. We're waiting for a good play to pop up. Yesterday, I saw several plays pop up that were above 60%. So that's part of the reason why I'm not sitting here forcing value. Okay. We're going to find good value and we're going to be patient on it because that's going to set us up in the best possible position to succeed and move on to the next day. 100%. Live NBA is extremely profitable for streaks. Yeah, especially if you're able to get in at like halftime. I've seen props available that are minus 180 across the board on other books. Yeah, Malik Monk is no longer a profitable play. I think they bumped it down to a 0.78x. So that's another thing, you know, if we do get further down the line, you know, day 8 or whatever, where we're getting close, I have no issue with going live while the games are actually on and trying to get a good live play in. Because I've seen lots of value that would take over anything that you were to get in pre-match or pre-game. Oh, you had to update the app? Cool. Bankroll is already low. That's why I joined the Discord. Yeah, man, just make sure that you are managing that bankroll correctly, okay? What are we going to do here? Let's think. 7:13 Eastern time. 17 minutes until the next set of games. Let's see here. I've got 2 minimum data points. I'd like to ideally have a data point from FanDuel. Just because FanDuel's a really sharp book. And we would like to have sharp data points going into this. But yeah, playing on streaks is quite literally a waiting game when it comes to value. And getting these props in just right before the games is going to be really nice. Like that Malik Monk prop was insane. But I guess while we are here, you guys can ask any questions if any of this is brand new to you. Here's a great prop that we can go ahead and load into a streak starter. Jalen Suggs for under 19.5 points and rebounds. Looks like they just pulled that off as I was typing it in. 17.5 on some books, 18.5 on others. Yeah, you guys will notice how quickly the props will get bumped or removed. I plan on making a TikTok video tomorrow about bumps because I think it's funny. Like, there's people here that are on like TikTok, and they'll sit there on stream and have like a little 2-man in the corner, like a 2-man parlay, and it'll be like blurred out, and then they'll tell you the props once you like tune into the stream. But they'll be live for like a full hour and the props won't bump. And like, I find it hilarious because like if the props you're giving out aren't bumping, then you are not giving out value, you know? But that doesn't, like, people don't understand that. So I might make a video about that tomorrow just to try and explain that. Yeah, I'll check Fliff for you. I'm gonna pull it up on a separate tab so we don't mess up what's going on here. All right, let's go to Fliff. We have a ton of value in today. I'm excited for tonight. Are you guys like, do you guys actually sit there and sweat out the games? Because I feel like I used to do that, but now it's just like, I'm just gonna let the math do its thing, you know? Watching the games don't affect the outcome, unfortunately. I used to have that mindset a lot where it's like, I gotta watch the game, like, or else my play's not gonna hit. I gotta watch the game. I'm not seeing any value on Fliff at the moment. Unless you want to take the Liao Ning Flying Leopards first half money line for Chinese basketball. I feel it does, and I gotta say stuff to make it hit. Yeah. I will say that Monk prop flashed because starting lineups were released. The data priced in it. The data priced isn't necessarily the sharpest, considering lineups could range widely and the price of the line is super volatile. Waiting a couple minutes after lineups release, and if the value still holds, then those are sharper more. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think this is also going to be a little bit of just like trial and error to figure out what the best time to go live is, you know, in terms of getting the best value. Because yesterday, the one streak that we have up, the Amen Thompson and Kobe White duo, that one was probably 20 minutes before the games, and just insane value. And like, thankfully, you can also tell by the results. Like, we took Amen Thompson under 32.5 PRA, and then Kobe White under 21.5 points. Both of them went under by significant amount, like almost 10 PRA, and let's see, 7 points. I watch the games, I play for thrill, maybe since I'm new. I mean, yeah, it's something that like a lot of people do. I understand why. Any value on Dabble? Let's check. Let's check Dabble real quick. Dabble's got a little bit of value. Let me see if I add some data points in here, if they are. The sleep method be working? What, you just go to sleep and just wake up and see if you're slip cached? Gosh, I just know that we're going to be sitting here and there's going to be a prop that'll pull up. It's like 62% or something. Something nuts. What I also have been doing... Here, let me pull this up as well. I've been going over to the Sharp Money tool and seeing if there's any like crazy... Like, just right before the game, if anything big comes in that's available on Underdog, then like I am totally okay with playing it. And sometimes I like to just see like, okay, you know, for example here, Tristan da Silva under 11.5 PRA. Getting it at minus 116 or minus 122. Obviously, the odds would be different for streaks, but then I can actually compare it to the other books. So right here, I don't like any of these other data points, so like I wouldn't touch that right now. But Sharp Money is definitely an option for us to add to the streaks. See, like this RJ Barrett line, I'm not a huge fan of, right? Under 20.5 points and rebounds, and then you have FanDuel and DraftKings who are pretty much just like, no, that's a good line. We'll favor it under, though. But then you have just one data point here, at least out of these sports books, with BetMGM having it at 18.5. Like, that's not a prop that I would want to take. I know, Brandon, I'm over on... I'm live over on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter right now. If you want to see my whole screen set up. Might be a little bit easier to understand what I'm referring to, what I'm talking about. This nice little, this nice extension that I have where it just auto refreshes is pretty nice. That way I don't have to keep clicking it, you know, just set it to 5 seconds or so and have it. Oh, you're good, dude. We're crafting underdog streaks right now. We're looking for our next streak prop for our 2 streaks that we have live, and then we're going to do another streak starter if you guys have not been tailing these. All right. Lineup alert. Jalen Green will have his minutes monitored Friday. When did you know it was time to go all in and do this as a full-time income? Wow. It's a good question, James. Well, to be honest with you guys, I started this in college. Kind of went through the whole process of like losing money, understanding where value can actually be found, figuring out the math behind it. And throughout that whole process, I was just posting on Twitter and then started gaining attraction with, you know, 5K followers, 10K followers. And it's kind of just something that I don't know. I'm honestly not sure at what point I was just like, okay, like this is what I'm going to want to do. But because I think everyone goes into college, or at least comes out of college, still with the question of like, what am I going to do as like my full-time job? And I guess you know, sports was already something I was passionate about, and then making money off of sports. And what's better than that, you know? It's something that you got to commit to, you know? If you're going to put out the content for it, you got to commit to it. And I'm super grateful that it's led me to where I'm at now. All right, it's 7:22. What games do we have coming up here? We've got Grizzlies and Pelicans, Raptors, Magic, Kings, Celtics, and then Blazers, Knicks. You on Prize Picks or did it? I'm not on Prize Picks. Somebody else said that it was going down, which that would be the third night in a row. It's very interesting. Don't know what's going on over there. Honestly, at a very minimum, I think that at least before these 7:30 games Eastern time get started, that I'll probably lock in that streak starter with hopefully two props that are at least above 55% if the data points look good. But I'm also not going to sit here and try and force a prop on the streaks that we already have live. I know it's doubtful, but if there is no value at all tonight, would you just wait for tomorrow to find some or try to play the highest you can find? Good question. So yeah, that's kind of what I was just trying to spit out. Is just like, I think that if for the streak starter, I'm much more willing to play props that are not like, the best of the best. But in terms of keeping a streak alive, so once you get past that first 2-leg parlay, then I'm not going to sit here and force something to be played, even though it is still a profitable prop. Like all of these props that you guys see right now are profitable on streaks. But I personally would like to set the bar a little bit higher because it also, that's a better margin in terms of the overall expected value, which therefore should hopefully shorten the amount of time that it takes for us to turn 10 bucks into 10 grand. How was MLB last year for you? MLB is great. I think that MLB like late night value for the following day is like some of the best value ever. Like I think I was talking with somebody and they were asking about like, oh, what are your favorite markets to place slips on? Like whether we're talking about, points or PRA. Like for me, it's strikeouts. Like there is so much value on taking strikeouts if you can find the value, just because some of these books, like the lines will shift like crazy. And that's something that I'm excited for this year, especially like tailing the sharp money. I didn't tail any sharp money last year for MLB, but it was still extremely profitable. And hopefully this year there's an app out there that allows for correlation, because I know Prize Picks nerfed the correlation last year. Whenever the year before, correlation was like absolutely free money because they didn't nerf it. They won't let me do streaks for some reason. I've been doing them all season, and as soon as you start them, it won't let me. I would reach out to support and see if they can provide a reasoning or just, grant you access again. MLB is really nice. I'm excited for it coming up here. I will say though, like in terms of the profitability, like by sport, NBA just is, it's not even a competition. NBA is by far the most profitable because of all of the markets that you can actually play. Whole lot of just 55% props here. So these are for the 7:30 games. So the RJ Barrett line I would probably avoid, and same thing with the Sandro prop. It's just a waiting game, because that's the thing. Sometimes like there might be nights if I come on here live at night where we can get, our underdog streaks in within 10 minutes. And other times it might take upwards of 45 minutes, or maybe there's not any value at all. So I'll probably wait until 7:45 at the latest, just to see if anything drops for those later games at 9. There's a pretty long gap between these upcoming games, an hour and a half. So we'll hopefully have something drop here in just a second. I'm going to go check the sharp money as well. See if anything's over here. Nope. Prize Picks needs to update. Yeah. I don't know what they're running into. Trying to think of what we do have in this Lakers game versus the Wizards. Lakers are already up 11 points. I'm going to try to put together something tomorrow for that profit boost. It's like an 80% profit boost on a 4-leg soccer parlay on Sleeper. Do I like NHL as far as a streak? NHL is tricky just because typically these sports books for like shots on goal typically have like, you know, like there's not typically one side that is like crazy juiced. Now, if there were something where there's value for NHL, then of course I would take it. But most of the time, like you just see these guys that are like no more than minus 130 on one side or the other. I screwed you? How is that possible? What happened, Luca? What happened? Con versus Flag was... Yeah. I need to watch the highlights for that. All I saw on Twitter today was people talking about that. The one clip that I kept seeing was that, like, I assume probably toward the end of the game when it was like Cooper Flag with a chance to be like the first rookie with a 50 ball or something. I don't know what the stat was. And it was Caleb Martin, and he went like driving to the basket, just missed like a dunk. And Cooper Flag was wide open. You took a 5-leg and all of them didn't hit. I mean, there's no such thing as locks. Like, there's going to be some slips that hit and some that don't. That's okay. That's just how it works. Honestly, this prop right here, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to lock in for a streak starter. Nolan Traore, under 14.5 PRA. Is that available still? Where can I find this? NBA. Made me quit. Why are you quitting off of one slip? Doesn't sound like this is for you, my friend. Okay. Nolan Traore on the Nets, under 14.5 PRA is going to be the first leg that I take here. Minus 154 on FanDuel. I love that data point just alone right there. Caesars has this at 13.5, and so does Fliff. I like this prop a lot, actually. There's definitely good value here. Hopefully we can have another one pull up before this gets bumped down, and then we can lock that in for a streak starter. Yeah, I hate the stat corrections for NHL. They are really bad. They're actually horrible. Luka has 12 rebounds and assists first quarter. Do we have that prop somewhere? I'd have to check. If we do, I don't know if we have the over or the under. Let's see here. So we've got Nolan Traore. How do you pronounce that? Traore? Nolan on the Nets. Under 14.5 PRA for now. And then if we have another prop that pulls up that's like 56%, 55%, probably lock it in. I know some of you guys need a streak starter. That's not for the 9:30 game, though. So it's 7:30 now. They should lock these props in about 10 minutes when the game actually starts. So hopefully we can have one more here. I'm not going to take that first quarter prop for Concanepul. Not enough data points that make me feel comfortable taking it. How confident are you is my favorite on the whole locks thing. Yeah. And you hear people say that all the time. Like, oh, how confident are you in this prop? And then, like, for whatever reason, like, that is what gets them on board. Or that's, like, determines how much money they end up putting on the specific lay. Let me think here, because I like this prop, kinda. I'm not sure, though. Jarrett Allen under 26.5 points and rebounds. I think we have money on Jarrett Allen elsewhere. It's a 55.29% prop, minus 148 on FanDuel. That's good, right? I kind of want to be able to build this together with you guys. Are you guys comfortable with that? It's at 25.5 on DraftKings. That two-man right there with Nolan and Jarrett, what do you guys think about that as a little streak starter? What do we think here? What do we think? Appreciate you guys sharing the live. I like that. Like, FanDuel is such a big data point for me to take into consideration. I really like those two props together. If you guys are cool with using that as a streak starter, because if anything else pulls up that's like closer to 60%, then we're just going to toss it in as our third prop for the streaks that we already have started. What are you looking for in terms of a third pick and beyond? Something is, I mean, like 60% would be ideal, obviously. That's a huge margin, but I would probably play anywhere from 58 and higher. And I only say that because, yes, obviously all of these are profitable, but like if we can get 58% or higher, which I know for a fact that we can because two of the props from yesterday were over 58%, then I don't want to like, you know, just settle for something that's not good value, you know? I like these data points though. I think I'm going to lock this in, okay? So we're going to take Nolan Traore on the Nets under 14.5 PRA, and then Jarrett Allen under 26.5 points and rebounds. That's going to be our streak starter for tonight, okay? So hang around in here if you are still looking to get a third prop in for our other streaks. Haven't seen value that I want like too much yet. Let's see here. UD streaks starter. All right. Just went ahead and posted that with a link in case that's a little bit easier for you guys over on Twitter. Let me make sure I get this sent out to the Discord. Let's see here. Yeah, I like the value there a lot. And like I said, guys, remember our break-even point is 53.3%. So we're obviously way over that, which is going to increase that margin, increase the amount of positive expected value on that specific two-leg slip, and should shorten the time in which we are able to cash $10 into 10,000. Okay. Any sharp money? Yeah, we've been checking back and forth. Nothing that I like as far as what we could take over on Underdog for the streaks. Let's see here. Just curious on the correlation with Allen. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was curious about. So I forgot if we had had value earlier on the over for Jarrett Allen on a specific market, which clearly it sounds like we did for PRA. There are, you know, if he goes crazy on the assists tonight, then there's definitely a stat line where both of those can cash. But yeah, check out the value there on those two. Obviously, 53.3%. We're getting over 2% off of that break-even point. Then we have minus 148 for Allen on FanDuel, and then minus 154 on Nolan on the Nets. Okay. So those are two pretty good props there as a streak starter if you have not taken that just yet. Remember, some of you guys should be able to play up to 3 live streaks at a time. Okay. So it is 7:35. I'm going to give this about 5 more minutes, maybe 5 to 10 more minutes, just to see if we have any crazy props that we can see pull up here and add to our streaks that are already live. But as far as what I'm seeing right now, I'm not going to add anything just yet. The Underdog streaks slip met the 57% threshold. So what I was saying earlier is that when it comes to a streak starter, you know, all we need to do is get over that 53.3% break-even point. Obviously, I'm going to try and do better than that. So both of those were over 55%, which is great. And then once we are looking for a streak extender, you know, once we've already passed that first 2-leg parlay, then I'm going to be looking for props that are 57, 58, even 60% probability to hit. Do I have a Discord? Yep, right there. Discord, you can go over on Twitter and get it, or link in bio. I believe if you're on TikTok, then it's going to be on the link in bio is my Instagram, which then you can go to and access the Discord. Is my promo code for better Trident? Yes, it is. All caps. TRIDENT. I bet his line is inflated due to him crushing the Lakers. He's going to come down to earth. Yeah. I feel like Mark Williams is slept on, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not a huge basketball fan. Like where I'm watching games every night, but like I don't see Mark Williams get like enough credit at all. And that's like he's good. It's a good player. We'll see though. We'll see if he gets out rebounded. Maybe he'll just go off on the assists and he'll cash PRA, go under points and rebounds. Let me check to see if we've got any. What was I gonna look at? There we go. Man, I would love to see another prop pull up like Malik Monk there. Little FanDuel data point of like minus 180 would be crazy. That'd be awesome. So we've got 2 down. We need 9 more props correct in a row. That's so doable. He's slow. Oh, man. Are we going to get any props here before we got to hop off stream? We're going to get any props here. It's 7:38. 2 minutes until these other games are pretty much starting. Maybe we would have stuff for the 9 o'clock. I mean, that's the thing. Like, here's the issue for me. Like, if I were to end stream, right, and I'm still sitting here at my computer, let's say at 8:30, right, an hour from now, and some 60% play pulls up, do I take it and then just send it out on Twitter because there's a good chance you guys might not be able to get it in, right? Do I have a bankroll app? Do I recommend? What are you referring to, a bankroll app? Like a money managing app? Or something to just track? Like just to track things. You were locking in SAR over 16.5 field goals attempted, and I was locking it in. Projection was removed. Yeah, that's the worst. I hate that. When projections just get bumped or they just lock right in front of you. Luka's going crazy right now. Must be missing it. Holy cow. Lakers are up 46-28. Luka. Holy cow. Luka's played 11 minutes on the court, and he's got 16 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Oh my goodness. That's insane. Yeah. If you need an app to track, definitely get on Pickett. And believe it or not, I'm partnered with Pickett. So you can get on with code Trident. And I believe they're still doing it. If you get on with my code, you literally get free cash when you sign up. Like it'll send you, it's anywhere from like $3 to like $100 for free when you sign up. Yeah, Pickett is really good. For anyone watching this who doesn't have an app that's tracking like what you're playing, definitely get on Pickett. Okay, you can sign up with code Trident, TRIDENT. It's 7:40. These games are underway now. No crazy value off of those first 4 games, which is a little bit sad, but that's all right. Stick around for a couple minutes, see if anything pulls up. What are y'all's thoughts on that, though? Like, if I were to hop on the computer in an hour, right? Not to boot up a stream, but just to sit here and check the optimizer. If there's something that's crazy good, do I take it and send it out with the hopes that you guys get it in? Or do I just hold off until tomorrow night? What are we thinking? If there is no major significant lineup news, then lines won't move. Right. I need to change my name and get a new alias. I can get the free money. Yeah, I'm not seeing much here. We've only got 6 games tomorrow, including a 12 o'clock game. Could always, I mean, I'm going to probably go live tomorrow afternoon. Or I guess probably morning time. Possibly could get in a slip for the Spurs game at noon. What is the highest percentage that I've seen in terms of a prop? Oh, dude, it's like, I mean, on here, in terms of like, I've seen error props that are like in the 90s, you know, for 90% chance to hit. But most of those typically just get refunded. Hold off, no need to force it. Okay. Well, I don't want to say tonight was necessarily a fail since we did technically get a streak starter. So that'd be great if that streak starter hits and then tomorrow we have 3 live streaks to get a third play in. That would be nice. So, yeah, I guess that'll do it for the stream. I apologize for there not to be any crazy value for us to get in, but we do have a streak starter. Hopefully that clutches up. Soccer boost. I'm going to approach that tomorrow morning, see if we got some good value on the board. It's hard for me to like really want to do those soccer boosts without knowing what the lineups are, you know. The last one I did, we had somebody who wasn't playing that I thought was in the projected lineup, and then they weren't. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you drop a follow, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out.